Alright, so today we'll be matchmaking the UFC London card of Evloev versus Murphy. Bit of a stinky card, a bit of a sleeper, but if you want to hear my thoughts on that, we're here to just matchmake. If you want to hear my thoughts on that, go watch the recap from last night. First up, for Movsar Evloev, I think it's a no-brainer. You have to give him Volk. You have to do this fight for the title. If Evloev does not get the title shot and they give it to, like, Gene Silva, this Paramount era is really, really fucked. Because there's an argument for, like, Patty Gaethje was kind of bullshit, but there's an argument for, like, Max not getting it because he already got beat by Ilya. There's an argument for Armin not getting it because it was a quick turnaround and you know, he isn't liked by the UFC, whatever. There's an argument for even Lopez getting the second one because Movsar was inactive, Lerone beat Aaron Pico, and then he beat Gene Silva, probably the best out of the three opponents from 2025 because Movsar had none. Then 327 is fine. 328, you know, giving Strickland it. He has an argument over Evloev because of, you know, storyline, whatever, performances. But this one is a no-brainer. Gene Silva cannot get this title shot. Movsar needs to get this. Even though it was a questionable decision, I still think he won the fight. The point shouldn't have been taken, in my opinion, especially in such a fight with this much meaning, you could say. It's a number one contender fight. I think the point should have been taken. I think one more, because they weren't like eye pokes or really bad nut shots where he's like front kick right to the balls. It was like he does a body kick and Lerone kind of steps into it. So I think it was a big question over the point taken, but he still won 3 out of 5 rounds, maybe even 4. I see a lot of people saying 3, 4, 5 was Movsar, which I agree. 1 and 2 were Lerone, but I see, which is what I thought, but I see a lot of people giving round 1 to Movsar. So I'm gonna make a video on that tomorrow. Probably go back and score it, rewatch, score it, whatever. So yeah, I think it was a questionable decision. Not like Movsar didn't win, but it could have been a draw. But I'm glad they didn't do it a draw because we need a. It's just not good for business and movement of the division. It would be pretty shitty to do that. So I'm glad Movsar got the win. I felt he won majority of the fight, and he should get Volk next. Now Lerone. It's a lot of options. You could do like a Gene Silva, but his hip's out of fucking place now. You could do a Kevin Vallejos. You could do a Marcos Acosta, Arnold Allen winner. You could do Yusuf Zalal, Aljo winner. There's a lot of options within the featherweight division. But you could do a Yair. But I honestly think they should do the winner of Aljo versus Zalal. Movsar was this close to beating Lerone, or Lerone was this close to beating Movsar. He's just in there in a number one contender fight. He is going to need to fight down. Zalal, Aljo, whoever wins that, I think they're one win away from a title shot. I don't think Aljo's probably going to call for a title shot. Zalal, I don't know, but I know Aljo's calling for one before this fight was made. So maybe he calls for one after this. I don't think he should get it because I think it's going to be such a long way off. Unless Gene Silva, you know, gets beat by somebody that's not like a big name. Maybe gets beat by like a Yair. But even maybe they give a Yair title shot, which I hope not, if he beats like a Gene Silva. But I think, yeah, Aljo's going to need one more win after this. Or maybe if Steve Garcia beats Diego Lopez, Aljo calls out Steve Garcia after that. Because that's some guy, he's more exciting than Aljo. He's going to beat Diego Lopez if he does. But I think this is a good fight to make. I think the winner of this will be one win away from a title shot. And I think Lerone is in a perfect spot to be like, you beat this guy, you're up there. Because he was just in a normal contender fight. Almost beat Movsar. It was a close fight. He didn't look too good, but still. He's still up there, number 3 ranked. And then for Luke Riley, I think they're going to build him up. They want him to get big fights. So he just had a co-main event. I think they gave him a decent name in a decent test in Andre Fili. Andre Fili just had a tough fight with Miguel Delgado last week. Not arguably won, but a close fight. He looked good in the boxing, which is where Luke Riley's strong suit is. He mixed in some wrestling, had some good kicks as well. So I think it's a good test for Riley, a good step up from Oswald, who did look good himself. We'll talk about him in a second. But I think Luke Riley, he gets the timelines are going to be similar. Neither took a lot of damage, but they did get hit a decent bit. And I think this is a good test for Luke Riley, and it's a decent name to propel him up, and it's a very winnable fight for him. And he could maybe get a knockout. He's very powerful, very fast. He's also hittable. Now for Michael Oswald, I'm not going to talk too much about him, but he looked decent this fight. I think he could be a guy who sticks around, has fun fights. So maybe a Steven Nguyen, who's coming off that crazy fucking fight over Muhammad Yahya. I still don't know why they haven't given him a fight since. I think it was like July. And he like 8 knockdowns or whatever, 6 to 8 knockdowns, somewhere in that range. But I think it's a good fight. 2 strikers, so not much to it, but I think it could be a decent one. Now for MVP, I really could see Dana White didn't like the performance. I know nobody really liked his performance of the fight. Maybe he parts ways with the UFC. It's been 5 fights now. It was fun the first time, but like gets to a point where you have the in and out, the cool big one shot, and then dance, and then emote, pull out the Fortnite emote wheel, boogie down. But it gets to a point like the Kevin Holland fight was cool. Then who do you fight after that? Was it an Ian Gary? He loses. It's like a Sharp Bullet, a Cannoneer, and a Sam Patterson. And you're not like beating these guys up. You're not getting crazy highlights. You don't have highlights. All I see is the one shot on Cannoneer where you drop him, but you kind of like just catch him off balance. You're spinning elbow Holland, and you're like, it's cool and all the first time, but 5 times, nah, it's over, bro. You're a good showman, but like outside of fighting, you're a good showman when you're maybe in the cage doing these emotes. You're walking up, you're dancing, you're high-fiving everybody. That's cool. But I don't think we want to see this anymore. I could see him getting released by the UFC, like I said, and going on that MVP card on May, which would just make it worse for the UFC. So maybe they just keep him for that instance. You know what I mean? Because MVP, that's where he would thrive, and something like that, where it's more of a show, it's a gimmick, and he's fighting someone that's not a UFC fighter, maybe he's fighting a boxer in a boxing match, or he's fighting someone that's really gonna take it to him, like a Mike Perry, or he's fighting like a guy who's just washed up, something like that, where he could really style on them and have bigger moments, maybe get a knockdown or a knockout, whatever it may be. But I think this will be good for the UFC to do this. The loser of Brady versus Buckley. Because on one hand, I think Brady would be able to wrestle him, probably sub him. Short, stocky guy. I think he'd be able to get to the legs, get to the hips pretty easily, and get MVP out of there. I don't think MVP would be able to really keep his distance well. He does get backed up a lot, backs up to the cage. People are able to connect with him. It's not like he's dancing around and nobody's able to touch him. People are able, and he's struggled with grapplers. So I think Sean Brady in this instance will be able to get his grappling going and probably sub him, get him out of there. And Buckley, on the other hand, I think it's a guy who's going to be powerful, who's going to come at him. And I like Buckley in this fight too, because he comes in, he has a high guard, he's like ducking, weaving. And he's going to come in explosively. He's going to go up in MVP very explosively. Pause. But I think that short style, like short, stocky guys like this, and they come in, they're explosive. One's a grappler. I mean, Sean Brady's not explosive, but Buckley, on the other hand, he's an explosive striker. Come in, get the chin of MVP, or just outstrike him, because MVP throws like 5 strikes around. Every single MVP fight, it's like 5 to 3 in significant strikes. He landed like 23 strikes, and Sam Patterson landed like 16. Some bullshit like that over the fight. But I think it's a good one to make, and it makes sense ranking-wise as well. Now, for Sam Patterson, I still have faith in him. It wasn't a good performance. He did not look good. I still have faith in him as a prospect at 170. He did come off 4 first-round finishes. Not the best opponents, but I still think he could be a guy who makes a push for the rankings again. And I think a good fight is Nikolai Veretnikov. Veretnikov's more of a kickboxer. This big, long guy just came off a knockout win over Nico Price. He shows decent skill, but he's just a little dumb in his fight IQ. Like in the Francisco Prado fight, who looked very stupid, just spinning stuff and getting grappled by this short little Minecraft character. But I think this is a good fight, and it'll be 2 long, lanky guys. Sam Patterson can get back in the win column with this. Maybe he grapples this fight, shows off his sub skills, gets another finish. I think it's going to be a scrap, though. I think it's going to be a pretty fun fight. I like this matchmaking by myself. So, good one. Now, Igor Baranowski. I probably think the UFC goes a route of giving him someone else to just get a highlight reel knockout, because the Austin Lane matchmaking was absolutely terrible. Ibo Osman, that first fight was a great matchmaking decision by whoever does that. I think is it Mick? No, or is it Sean Shelby that does the higher divisions? I think it might be Sean Shelby, but and you have Hunter Campbell as well overseeing that. But I could see them probably just giving him another can to knock out, get another highlight, build up this Polish power guy. The Polish guys always have a good little fan base. The Polish fighters always have a good little fan base around them. You know, he's coming at 205, kind of replace Jan Blachowicz, who's on his way out. Maybe they just want to keep building him up, getting a bunch of highlights. But I feel like this matchup that I made, it's still could still test him, but it's still also a possible highlight. You know, and it's Umar Sy. Umar Sy has not looked great in his last two losses. Looking in as a good contender like Siogan, French, big, physically imposing guy. He's like 6'4", long, good overall skill, technical, but he hasn't really shown much. He got sub by Ulan Kudalaba. Before that, lost decision to Alonso Menafield where he looked bad. Big favorite both times, and you know, it's kind of hypes off of him now. Maybe you get one loss, but those are two guys you should at least be beating one of them, at least. And I think more so like Ian Kudalaba. You're coming off a loss. You could kind of improve, but I guess not. I think this is a good matchup for Igor Baranowski. You know, propel him up. Maybe test his grappling a little bit. He does have that judo background that the commentators talking about. A lot of people talk about. He doesn't get to show it. Maybe he gets another knockout here over a good young guy who is not somebody that's known for getting knocked out like a fucking Austin Lane. Speaking of Austin Lane, his next fight should be with his fucking boss at his desk job. I don't know, dude. Retire, dude. I was looking at his resume, you could say, or his just fight history. It's really bad, dude. Really. And I you know what? I feel bad for this guy because it's like, dude, I know you're trying to make a living. He's probably not even making any good money because he's not a big name or anything. He hasn't been in the UFC for that long. Fuck. Like, this is bad. Like, 2018 gets knocked out by Greg Hardy on Contender Series. And a few months later comes back, gets knocked out by some guy who's 1-6 in his overall career to this day. Then gets 2 knockout wins. Gets knocked out again by some guy who's 8-5. Then gets a bunch of wins in a row. Gets in Contender Series, gets a win. No contest against Justin Tafa. And then gets knocked out by Justin Tafa in the first round. Next, he gets knocked out by Jonata Deniz in the second round. Then gets a win over Rebeldes de Spain. Then gets knocked out by Mario Pinto really bad. Then gets subbed by Vitor Petrino. And gets knocked out by Igor Baranowski in 30 seconds. It's like, dude, you need to retire. Like, your brain is fucking mush, dude. I know he has kids. Like, I don't know how. I know he's in the NFL for a couple years. Maybe made some good money. Like a few $100,000 while he was there. But now you're in fighting. Probably not making shit in the UFC right now. Just, that's a lot of fucking damage, bro. With the amount of hits you get in football. Defensive linemen, too. You're hitting and banging a lot with these O-linemen. You're tackling people. Running backs and shit, just getting those dog piles. Oh my god. This guy's CTE is going to be something to behold. Knocked out 7 times in his MMA career. Like, and a lot of them, most of them were pretty bad knockouts. Like flatline, like head hitting the canvas. Yeah, bro, just go work the desk job, bro. Like, it. That's it. Then CLD. Bit of a shaky performance against Roman Dolidze. I think we kind of knew that coming in. His grappling is a little... His wrestling is a little iffy. He can get out-grappled, can get out-wrestled. Striking is great. Except I feel like if like a really tough motherfucker like a RoboCop comes... Gets in his face. You know, he could give him some problems. Like RoboCop did. Beat him up. Because I feel like he does like to get at kicking range a lot. And his boxing is a little... But I think a good matchup. It's only one step above in the rankings, but Jared Cannonier. Cannonier hasn't fought since August. Probably get back in there soon. And he's older now. He's more beatable, but he's been a guy that's up there. He's fought for the title. He's fought in big matchups. He's beat good guys. He's fought a lot of good guys. He's a good test for any contender, any up-and-comer. I think they should do this fight. Cannonier maybe mixes in wrestling or makes it gritty in the clinch or in the boxing. I think, because you could also give CLD like a fluffy, but I think RoboCop might get fluffy, honestly. But I don't know. I think you give it a little slow with CLD. Let him go home, Go to his gym, work on his grappling, and work on his wrestling. Because as a striker, he's very good. Especially if he's going to get to spear striker, it's gonna be hard to beat him. He's very, very good, very dynamic, powerful, decently powerful, especially when he has his spinning attacks going. So if he doesn't have to worry about someone getting his back or something, and he opens up with his spinning attacks more, he's really, really dangerous in that aspect. But I think it's a good step up for him in the division. Now for Roman Dolidze, and he was on his Instagram saying, I don't agree with the judge's decision. I don't fucking know. I don't know what goes on through these guys' brains. Sometimes, like, you think you won the fight by landing 3 to 5 strikes around. Maybe you landed some in the end, but it was all like pitter patter. But I think he's probably gonna get Bo Nickel with the win. Bo Nickel beats Kyle Dukas on the White House card. Then if Roman Dolidze is still ranked, which I think he might just drop out of the rankings, but still, Bo Nickel, I don't think they should rush him up too hard. So I think it's better if Roman Dolidze is outside of the rankings when they give him this matchup. Yeah, Bo Nickel gets another win. And then he gets a Roman Dolidze, who's previously ranked, more so a grappler, but maybe tested grappling of each other, the wrestling, or you just see more Bo Nickel striking, honestly. So I think it's a good matchup for him, and winnable for Bo Nickel. Then Danny Silva knocked out Curtis Campbell. He's a good prospect himself. Like, he had a tough fight with Kevin Vallejos, which I don't usually like rating people off of losses, but he did look good. That fight, he has a good overall. He looked really good this weekend in his anti-grappling, because Curtis Campbell did really good, but I think Danny Silva did very well defending. Obviously on the feet, he's a nice boxer. He has some powers, we could see. Good kickboxing as well. He's dynamic in his striking, especially when he's fighting a striker primarily. So I think he's a good little prospect here. I don't think they should keep giving him young guys, try to feed him to them, because he's clearly a decent prospect himself. So I think a Morgan Charrier, who's got a lot of losses on his record, but is up for fun fights. He's been put against young guys. He's not got knocked out against Melchizedek Costa, but I think it's a good step up for Danny Silva. A good matchup, primarily striking, and could just propel him up a little more. And I think it'll be a scrap anyways. I think it'll just be fun. Another unranked scrap. I think this would be a good fight. Morgan Charrier, before the Melchizedek Costa, had a really nice fight with Nate Landwehr, so I think it's a good one as well. And for Curtis Campbell, I honestly think with the treatment they are giving him, the pink shorts, the media coverage, all that shit, the main card placement, I think he opened up the main card. Yeah, he opened up the main card. That's a lot for a debutant. So I think they give him a layup and give him Haider Emil. Because Haider Emil, we saw in his last fight, he's dangerous early with the power and stuff, but no grappling, no wrestling, no cardio. I think this could be a tailor-made matchup. Get Curtis Campbell back in the win column. Because maybe Curtis Campbell's not what he thought. He's striking his ass. He's like another Paddy Pimblett. His wrestling is better, but striking is just ass. No defense, no boxing, whatever. I think it's a good matchup for him. You could get a takedown, get a sub, maybe quick, or sometime in the fight. But I think it's a winnable matchup for him. Kind of a layup, because Haider Emil kind of sucks. Then for Mason Jones, I think he was calling for a rank shot. Could give him one, but I think at lightweight, there's so many guys. Like, you have the Chris Duncan getting a rank shot. You have Killen Salkio getting one. You have Esteban Rivovic now getting one. So I think a lot of these are unranked guys getting into the top 15. It's kind of clogged up in that aspect. So I think give him someone right outside the rankings who the winner of this gets a rank shot, and it's going to be a scrap because Mason Jones comes here to get in some fucking fire fights. So I think Jalen Turner's a good one. Jalen Turner just came back, win over Edson Barboza, 9-month retirement. Really like a 7-month, because obviously you have to announce a fight. Good win. Edson Barboza's washed, but I think it's going to be a scrap. It's going to be a really fun one. Banger. Mason Jones is going to be known for his bangers. He's had 3 bangers since coming back to the UFC. Jeremy Stevens, Blagioki, and now Axel Sola. Really fun fights. I think it's a good one. Winner gets a rank shot. And then Axel Sola, he should get probably like a Charlie Campbell or Ishmael Bonfim. I saw someone else say that, which I like that one as well. But either one, I think Charlie Campbell is a good one. He's 2-1 in the UFC, coming off a nice first round scrap over with Tom Nolan where he lost by sub. Maybe Axel Sola shows his grappling. I think he tried to get to it, or did get to it a little bit. Did he? Am I tripping? Did he take down Mason Jones? Maybe I'm just remembering the big moments, but he He will. I think he could mix in his grappling, his wrestling a little more here. Obviously, some good striking, good counter ability, good accuracy on those as well. I really liked it. He mixed it in with the spinning elbows, which he did get a little bit too like overzealous with those. Like he was doing them a little crazy, but defense is a little iffy. But I think this could still be a fun fight. Good scrap outside the rankings. There's so many fights you can make it lightweight. A lot of bangers and a lot of good guys outside of that. Probably maybe the best unranked division in the UFC. But again, it's another scrap. You can give him a lot of different guys coming off a loss in the lightweight division. Now for Nathaniel Wood, another split decision. I thought he definitely wanted that. It should have been a UD. I think it was like round 1 and 3 I gave to Wood. Yeah, round 1 and 3 I think it was. A good performance from him. Lassine Keita is good. He showed good potential himself. But I think because of that, don't give him too much of a step up, Nathaniel Wood, or a shot in the rankings like a top 10 opponent. Maybe you could give him a Josh. No, Josh Emmett's 15. I think Ortega, who's about to leave the division, is in the. What I was looking at, I think David Onama is a good spot for him. Number 14, coming off a loss to Steve Garcia. Push Nathaniel Wood into the rankings, give him a rank shot. Then after that, you could do top 10, top 8 if he wins this. But I think it's a good shot up for him. Not much to say about this. Maybe over the summer sometime, I think, would be good. Then for Leon Keita, bro, I was saying he looks like he kind of moves like Leon at times. And his hairline is literally an identical. It's a fucking replica of Leon Edwards. He looked pretty good, though. I think his striking was good. If he focuses more on just being a little more technical and trying to use his jab more, because he did have a good snappy jab when he was using it. He has some nice kicks. He has really good speed. He has good power. I think if he focuses more on his technical ability rather than just like his power and looking for bombs, which is because he was looking for, he could have definitely won that fight. He should have won that fight, in my opinion, if he wasn't looking for bombs as much and use more kicks. He does need to check his kicks though. But if he uses jab more, didn't look for as many bombs, he could have won that fight. It was a very close fight, nonetheless. And I think he should get someone right outside the rankings in Giga Chikadze. Chikadze is coming after the knockout loss to Kevin Vallejos. And I think it's a winnable fight for him. I think he has a bright future in the UFC. He's a young guy. He's skilled. Let's see his wrestling and grappling more. I know his cardio looked fine. He's moving a lot. But I think it's a good fight for him right outside the rankings. Decent opponent, decent name. And he wins this and then he can get like a rank shot depending on how the movement is of the division. Things like that. And for Mario Pinto, shaky performance, very shaky against a guy on short notice who isn't very good. But maybe he was injured. But I think they could just run back this fight against Mick Parkin. It was supposed to be scheduled for this weekend. Maybe he shouldn't be getting a ranked opponent after that, but it's like, who are you going to match him up with? There's not really many guys outside the division. I think Mick Parkin, he's not that good. So I think it's a good matchup for both of them. See where both of them are at. Maybe if Mario Pinto makes some adjustments from his past fight. I think it's a good fight. You could definitely run this one back. It's heavyweight. There's not much to do. And then Montas Kondratovicius. Looked decent. Maybe check his grappling, check his wrestling a little bit. But his striking looked pretty good. Throws a lot of bombs. They get a little tired, it looked like. But Tricotti looked more durable than we thought. I honestly don't think he's that good. Major prospect. He's very green. But I'm going to put him against someone who I don't think is that good either. And is a prospect. And I think Dante Johnson, honestly. I think it's fine to do prospect versus prospect. These guys aren't that good. I don't think they have that bright of a future in the division. Especially Dante Johnson. Instead of a fight with Cody Brundage, he looked like shit. So I think just fuck it. Just put these guys against each other. Let's see who comes out. Then you could actually name one of them a prospect maybe. But I think it's a good fight. I don't care. I think it's fine matching up some young guys with each other at times instead of giving them cans all the time. I think it's a good one because they don't show crazy potential either guy. And lastly, Bruno Pericic. Again, not much to do in heavyweight, but he has 2 good wins in the UFC. I like his overall game. It looked pretty good. His clinch work looked good. Looked like decent speed, good striking. I think he could get like a Kennedy Nzechukwu, who's coming off a loss to draw to Marcus Boccecha. His grappling looked a little shit, or did look shit, I could say. His striking, he's a long, big guy. Decent little unranked guy outside the division in terms of striking. I like Kennedy, especially his mom's story. He takes care of his mom with ALS. I like Kennedy, but I think Bruno Pericic is a good fight for him and a next step. Because Kennedy has some decent experience in the UFC. Of course, he does have the knockout over Carlos Ulberg down at light heavyweight. But yeah, those are my matchups for this card. I think some good fights you can make out of this. A little bit of a card. But yeah, so tomorrow or Tuesday I'll probably be coming out with a video of Movzar versus Lerone. Probably tomorrow. Who won that fight and how I would score, just going back and looking at it. See ya.